So let me go across to our panelists who've been patiently waiting here. Nilofer Surawardi is with us. She's a senior journalist and someone who has written on Ayodhya and the events of the last few decades. Mr. P. Pula Rao is with us, senior journalist and columnist. Advocate Pratik Shom also with us. Aarti Jairath, who I think would like a cup of coffee now because she has patiently waited with us since early this morning as that judgment came in. Ms. Surawardi, to you first. What are your thoughts on this big verdict today?
Well, first of all, the one point which the Supreme Court, the Apex Court has made is, which must be taken great note of, that demolition of the mosque was a violation of the law. That is important because we know that some right-wing elements have several more Muslim structures on their agenda to be demolished. I think keeping that in mind, some law or order should come out. So that is one point. The second point regarding the construction of a temple at the disputed site and handing over 5-acre land to a Muslim organization. Well, of course, it seems that the Supreme Court has kept in mind the concern of the people at large. If they had come out with a different verdict, it is possible the reaction may have been against the verdict, or the people may not have been very pleased. So I think the points that have been kept in mind by the Apex bench, I think more, I don't see in legal terms, but more as socially, to maintain harmony in the country. Had they not accorded an alternative site to a Muslim organization or some Muslim body, again, that could have set an issue for Muslims to be agitated. At the moment, as you just reported, some Muslim organizations have not welcomed the verdict and they may go for another petition or something of that kind. The fact that majority of the parties have welcomed it, we should respect the verdict. That is my perception. And where the social verdict, people's verdict is concerned, I think that should be given more importance. We must understand that where Ayodhya is concerned, till the right-wing elements linked with Saffron Brigade started making noise about it through their yatras and through other means, people at large in general were not aware of it. But now the common Indian knows about Ayodhya. I didn't know where the Babri Masjid was when I was growing up while studying in schools. It's only when they started spreading the message through various means that I came to know about it. So now it has become a platform for certain.
I just hope, but one does hope that with this verdict, at least there is a sense of closure on that, and maybe even in elections we can move on politically, and that's something we look at a little later as well. I'll ask Aarti about that. But Pratik, you know, from a legal viewpoint, you know, the court perhaps did the best possible that it could under the circumstances, and they did say that we looked at what the Archaeological Survey of India said, and etc. And it's a judgment that goes into more than 1,000 pages. So forgive me if it's going to take me some time to go through every bit of it. But your thoughts, you know, on the way this is played out.
See, Nidhi, first of all, as an officer of the court, I will and I want the nation to thank and appreciate our judiciary, that despite of all the allegations of being slow and giving them a political color when this matter was getting delayed, at length 40 days beyond working court hours, this matter was heard. Let me tell you and put it on record that after Keswanand Bharti judgment, that was a 68-day hearing. This is only second judgment which was heard at length for 40 days. So judiciary should be appreciated and thanked that such a large verdict was delivered in record time. That is one part. Now the key takeaways from the judgment. The two main contending parties, one Nirmohi Akhada, who were claiming the Shaibati rights, they did not got anything, and Supreme Court categorically mentioned that they don't have any rights within the as far as the title of the land is concerned. Other was the Shia Waqf Board. They categorically told that rejecting their claim that they even don't have a locus standi in this matter. Another thing, that they have now left lot of discretion with the center. that a trust to be made in next 3 months, which will decide upon the construction on the said land, and a complete 2.77 acre is to be given to the Ramlala Paksh. Along with that, they have also went against the Allahabad High Court verdict, which said that the land could be divided. Also, the Sunni Waqf Board, which claimed that they have an adverse possession because of the time. So, that has also been rejected, and it will follow lot of precedents, because adverse possession judgments will follow till the bottom of the judicial cycle. So, this
So by and large, you would say it's a welcome order, that that it is important that the court was able to deal with such a matter in quickly. I mean,
see, absolutely,
all things,
because the only
quickly is a relative term, because this has gone on for so many decades. And so if you could come in on that, I mean, at the end of the day, I think many people today would be relieved that whatever the verdict is, it's over, and maybe we can put this behind us.
Absolutely. I think there is a sense that this was a fatiguing subject, there is a sense of fatigue also. And everybody is happy in the sense that this subject may now be closed, and political parties may move on to welfare, development, rather than mosque or temple and go on. There may be better politics in this country. And also, as Justice Louis Brandeis, famed US judge, said, judges also read election returns and the newspapers. They are not immune from the waves of public opinion going around. So, all in all, yes, as Mr. Niloufar said, there are some things the court could have said, but I think they were particular to avoid any discussion, theology, good or bad, only the ownership of the land. And country, for the last 6 months at least, has been prepared, and they have been fed all kinds of, the shock is over 6 months ago when this hearing started on a daily basis. I think it has been absorbed that something is going to take place, and is now nearly 25 years, so 92, 27 years. So, I believe that this has come at the right time, and I do not blame the judges also for delaying the matter, because in such important issues, maybe some delay also makes a lot of cushion for public opinion to seep in, to create any judgment, any receptivity for a kind of judgment of this nature, which is very, very important. As our friend has just said, after Keshwanand Bharati, this is one of the most important judgments. So, we look forward, and there has been wide welcome for this, that maybe this is not as great a challenge to any religion or people. Maybe it is a good thing to accept it. It shows harmony, it shows a high level of maturity, now political maturity on both sides. So, we can say there will be closure, and I do not think there will be further ruptures and eruptions of this nature, that we want that temple, this temple. This was a big issue, and it has been, I believe it has come forward very nicely to a kind of nice conclusion. There was 5-0 judgment, and also on a technical ground, which they nobody can question that. They went on a technical ground, no arguments, no theology, you started puja, I did namaz, nothing of that nature. I was also surprised. We were expecting 3-2, 3-2.
That's why, Aarti, the fact that it's unanimous, as we were mentioning earlier, sends out a very important message, at least as far as the court is concerned, that the entire bench was on board with this judgment. I think given how polarizing this issue has been in this country, the fact that the court did decide, that they gave a unanimous verdict also does send out a message in these polarizing times.
No,
and
absolutely.
calms
I think
tempers.
it adds weight and to the verdict, it gives it strength. And although, they may, obviously there may be, there's a possibility of an appeal, because some people are not satisfied with certain sections of the judgment. The fact that it's been a unanimous verdict, frankly, I don't know, I hope the All India Muslim Personal Law Board rethinks its inclination to appeal, because, it's a unanimous verdict, and I don't think
So that's their right.
No, that's their right, sure. But I don't think, a Supreme Court bench can overturn a unanimous
it's very,
verdict.
very unlikely
Exactly.
to do that. Hardly
So,
possible.
it's better to let the issue rest here and let us move on. But, and what I really appreciate so far is the kind of mature, measured statements that are coming from the political class, whether it's BJP ministers or it's, the Congress. Because, as you said, this has been such a polarizing, issue which has divided the country so much, led to so much violence, that today it's really nice to hear them all appealing for peace and harmony. And I'd just like to contrast this. Ram Mandir is a core issue for the BJP RSS, just like Article 370 was. But if you see the way the BJP handled Article 370, where they tried to derive as much political mileage out of it as possible, even using it in the Maharashtra and Haryana elections, on Ram Mandir so far, they have been careful not to be triumphalist, not to try and do politics with it, which is a very welcome step.
Do you think, though, that this will change the political discourse, that we've seen around Mandir Masjid politics? That's the other thing.
Well, I think a lot depends on how the BJP really plays it, If the BJP, at the moment it's being very mature and it's being very measured and being very careful, but if there is a temptation to try to use it politically, then I don't see, the discourse changing. But if the BJP does not get given to that temptation and really just goes about it like business as usual, you're now building the temple, you're giving land for a mosque, then I don't think it can be. But Nidhi, that's why I would like really to see that judgment in full, because I think the most critical aspect of the judgment and what follows from now is whether there will be any more repetitions of this kind. Whether we will see, because we know that Hindu groups have been claiming other mosques, particularly the one at Kashi and the one at Mathura. So has the Supreme Court put in place some kind of brakes on that, some protection, so that I know we have that Protection of Places of Worship Act, but there is a feeling that that act is not strong enough. So has the Supreme Court put in place some kind of protection to ensure that an incident like 1992 does not happen again, that there is no group that stakes claim to another mosque, that we have another divisive issue polarizing society? And I think that's very, very critical to ensure peace and harmony in the future and to preserve the secular fabric and the social fabric of this country.
Right. Mr. Rawardi, though, let's just get back to the original point that you made, about the Babri Masjid demolition and how the Supreme Court cited that as being a violation of the law. How does that impact the fact that there is a separate trial that is, taking place in Lucknow for that? So that's very important, actually, what the court has said today, making a distinction between its verdict today and what happened in 1992.
Yeah, that is a very important point, and Nidhi, you've very well pointed out that there are two distinct issues that people are facing trial, and quite a few have already been set free. Not everybody who was responsible for the demolition of the mosque, not all of them are facing the charges. So from that angle, let's see how the legal proceedings move forward. How is that case played upon politically by different parties, by different people, by different communities? In my perception, in the age of today, I don't think so too many people are going to be too bothered about. For instance, I feel where religious communal issues are concerned, this is 2019 and this is not 1992, this is not 1995. The era has passed away when the political parties or different organizations, right-wing religious organizations or right-wing so-called religious organizations, can touch on the sensitive religious nerve of the people to excite them to the stage of communal frenzy. See, we have not seen any nationwide communal riot of the scale that followed the demolition of the mosque after 1992. Yes, there did happen the Gujarat carnage, but we must also keep in mind that it was confined to Gujarat. It did not spread across the country. See, I'll give you another point.
I have to take a break, ma'am. So sorry. I have to actually take a break, and I'd like to come back to this point right after that. We'll just be back in 3 minutes as we examine this verdict, and the judgment, as we said, has come. It is more than 1,000 pages long, so we're just going through the various points, and we'll bring you some of the highlights in just a moment. Welcome back. Well, let's take a look at the big story and bring you up to date on the fallout of the Ayodhya judgment by the Supreme Court. The unanimous verdict by the Supreme Court up there on your screens. The disputed area of 2.77 acres has been awarded in favor of the deity, that's Ram Lalla. Essentially, that means that the government will now, the centre will now have to set up a trust within 3 months for the construction of a temple at that site. And this disputed site, therefore, is being transferred to that trust. And there is a separate 5 acres of land on an alternate site that will be given to the Muslim community to build a mosque. The court saying today in a unanimous order that this decision was based on the evidence that had been presented by the Archaeological Survey of India. Also importantly, the court saying that the demolition of the Babri Masjid on December 6, 1992 was a clear violation of the law that has separate implications for a separate criminal trial that is underway on that. Importantly, as we said, a unanimous verdict by the Supreme Court of India, one that we are seeing being cautiously welcomed across the political spectrum. Everyone from the Prime Minister to the Home Minister to the Congress Party welcoming the order, asking for people to respect it, to maintain peace, to maintain calm. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board has, however, said that it is not satisfied with the order, that they don't agree with it, and although they are not criticizing all aspects of it, they have also asked everyone to maintain harmony and to maintain calm. You can see the tweets there of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and others. In fact, just to read out to you here, the Prime Minister saying the Ayodhya judgment is notable because it highlights that any dispute can be amicably be resolved in the spirit of due process of law. It reaffirms the independence, transparency and far-sightedness of our judiciary. That's the English tweet. In fact, we can bring up Mr. Modi's English tweet as well. He also goes on to say it clearly illustrates that everybody is equal before the law. So that is what the Prime Minister has said just now. Let's listen into some of the reactions that have come in over the last couple of hours.
इतिहास का एक लैंडमार्क जजमेंट है, सहज रूप से सभी को इसे स्वीकार करना चाहिए और मैं यह भी मानता हूं कि इससे सर्वधर्म समभाव की भावना भी और अधिक मजबूत होगी और साथ ही साथ सामाजिक ताना बाना भी इसके परिणाम स्वरूप मजबूत होगा, ऐसा मेरा विश्वास है। और मैं जनता से भी ये अपील करूंगा कि सभी शांति और सौहार्द बनाए रखने का प्रयत्न अपनी तरफ से करेंगे और इस जजमेंट को पूरे धैर्य और उदारता के साथ सभी को स्वीकार करना चाहिए।
The Indian National Congress respects the verdict of the Supreme Court in the Ayodhya case. We appeal to all the parties concerned and to all communities to abide by the secular values and the spirit of fraternity enshrined in our Constitution and to maintain peace and harmony. It is the responsibility of each one of us to reaffirm our tradition of mutual respect and unity among all that has defined our society through the ages. सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय आ चुका है, स्वाभाविक तौर
व्यक्त करें। इस विवाद के समापन की दिशा में सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के निर्णय के अनुरूप परस्पर विवाद को समाप्त करने वाली पहल सरकार की ओर से शीघ्रतापूर्वक होगी, ऐसा हमें विश्वास है। अतीत की सभी बातों को भुलाकर हम सभी श्री राम जन्मभूमि पर भव्य मंदिर के निर्माण में साथ मिलजुल कर अपने कर्तव्यों का निर्वाह करें। कुछ है पूछना तो जिसके हाथ में माइक उसका प्रश्न।
मोहन जी, मेरा नाम रवि त्रिपाठी है, मैं जी न्यूज से हूं। मेरा सवाल यह है कि अब जब फैसला आ गया है तो राम जन्मभूमि जो न्यास था, जो काम कर रहा था, उसका क्या होगा? जो पत्थर वहां तराशने का काम चल रहा था, क्या आप लोग सरकार द्वारा जो ट्रस्ट बनाया जाएगा उसको ये सौंपा जाएगा? क्या होगा आगे की गतिविधि क्या होगी?
अब वो आगे की गतिविधि जैसे जैसी बनती जाएगी वैसे वैसे उसके रास्ते निकलते जाएंगे। उसमें कोई यही होना चाहिए वही होना चाहिए ऐसा आग्रह हमने नहीं किया है। स्थान दिया है राम जन्मभूमि न्यास को, सरकार को न्यास बनाने के लिए कहा है, तो सभी को मिलजुल कर मंदिर बनाना है तो निकलेंगे रास्ते।
माननीय, मेरा सवाल है कि जो कोर्ट की तरफ से ये कहा गया कि जो विवादित मस्जिद के बारे में जितनी जिसे चर्चा हो रही थी उसको मान लिया गया कि ये राम मंदिर का है और राम आस्था जो है उसके साथ साथ उसके पॉइंट भी है। अब जो मुस्लिम ट्रस्ट के जो भी हैं उनको जो ये दिया गया है 5 एकड़ की जमीन, जो इस सारे विवादित भूमि और जो चर्चा के विषय की जो भूमि थी उससे अलग किया गया है, क्या संघ की भूमिका इसमें होगी कि जो बात आपने पहले भी कही है कि सारे लोगों को एक साथ मिलकर इस सारी चीजों को आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए, तो इसमें क्या आपकी भूमिका होगी?
तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय है ना, उसको तो हम स्वीकार कर रहे हैं। मैंने विजयादशमी के भाषण में भी किया था कि ऐसे मामलों में जो कोर्ट का निर्णय होता है मान्य करना चाहिए, हम मान्य कर रहे हैं। आगे उसकी प्रोसेस चलेगी तब ये सारे प्रश्न आएंगे। जो भी है अंतिम इस स्टेटमेंट में जो हमने कहा है, ये हमको झगड़ा विवाद अब समाप्त करना है।
सर संचालक जी, मेरा सवाल ये है कि जो अब विश्व हिंदू परिषद की भूमिका क्या रहेगी, और जब सरकार अपनी
आपको उन्होंने 2:30 बजे बुलाया है,
संघ के उसमें संघ की क्या स्थिति रहेगी?
विश्व हिंदू परिषद की भूमिका विश्व हिंदू परिषद तय करेगी।
मोहन जी, मेरा नाम हिमांशु है, मैं आज तक से हूं। मेरा सवाल ये है, इतने साल लग गए इस प्रक्रिया को करने में, कुछ दिन से संघ और मुस्लिम संगठनों की तरफ से जो है वो कोशिश हो रही थी कि फैसले का स्वागत होना चाहिए, जो भी आए उसको मानना चाहिए। क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि ये आपसी सहमति से भी बन सकता था अगर इस तरीके की कोशिश पहले दोनों तरफ से की जाती, दोनों पक्षों की तरफ से?
मुझे लगता है वो पहले हुई थी, किसी कारण नहीं सफल हो सकी, इसलिए यहां से बातें चली। नहीं तो अपनी सुख की जीविका कौन दुख में डालना चाहता है झगड़ों में? तो पहले प्रयास हुए ही होंगे। तब तो मैं संघ का अखिल भारतीय अधिकारी भी नहीं था, इसलिए मुझे उसका डिटेल वगैरह पता नहीं, लेकिन ऐसे प्रयास हुए थे, वो नहीं चले, इसलिए मामले तो यहां तक आए। लेकिन ठीक है, देर आए दुरुस्त आए।
भागवत जी, इस तरफ मैं विकास भदौरिया हूं, एबीपी न्यूज से, आपके दाहिनी तरफ।
हाँ।
जब ये मंदिर और मस्जिद का विवाद चल रहा था, उस दौरान जब भी मध्यस्थता की बात होती थी तो ये कहा जाता था कि अयोध्या में ही किसी जगह पर मस्जिद भी बना दी जाए। तब अक्सर हिंदू संगठन इस बात की मांग करते थे कि जो अयोध्या की सांस्कृतिक सीमा है उससे बाहर मस्जिद बने, लेकिन अब कोर्ट ने कहा है कि मस्जिद अयोध्या की सीमा के भीतर ही बनाई जाए। क्या आप इससे सहमत हैं?
अब कोर्ट ने जो बताया है उसका अध्ययन करेंगे, अर्थ वगैरह लगाएंगे, और वो तो हमको नहीं देनी है, सरकार उसकी जमीन वगैरह तय करेगी। तो हमने कहा है कि विवाद को समाप्त करने वाली पहल सरकार की ओर से हो। एक जगह पूजा भी चल रही हो, दूसरा भी हो रहा है, इसको लेके हम लोग तो ठीक है, हमारे मन में कोई दुविधा नहीं है। समाज जलता है एक दूसरे पर, ये बात समाप्त होनी चाहिए, ये हमारी इच्छा थी, वो पूर्ण हो गई। अब आगे की बात वो प्रक्रिया देखेगी।
सर मैं संजय शर्मा हूं, इंडिया न्यूज चैनल से। मोहन जी, मेरा सवाल है, क्या 5 एकड़ जमीन जो मुस्लिम पक्ष को दी जा रही है वो आप चाहते हैं कि अयोध्या के भीतर ही हो या अयोध्या के बाहर हो? कहाँ आप लोग कहाँ चाहते हैं? आप लोग क्या?
हम कुछ नहीं चाहते, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने निर्णय दिया है ना, अब उसका विधिवत पालन करेंगे करने वाले। हम तो मंदिर बनाएंगे,
मोहन जी,
हमको कहीं से जमीन लाकर देनी नहीं। कोर्ट ने कहा है सरकार को, सरकार सोचेगी उसके बाद।
मोहन जी,
उनको पूछिए।
मोहन जी, उदय सिंह राणा, CNN न्यूज 18 से।
हाँ जी।
जो काशी और मथुरा का जो विवाद है उस पे अब संघ का क्या मत है? और दूसरा, आज भारतवर्ष में जितने भी मुस्लिम नागरिक हैं उनके लिए आपका क्या संदेश है?
मुस्लिम
नागरिकों के लिए क्या संदेश है आपका? और काशी मथुरा पे आपका अब क्या मत रहेगा?
अब ये नागरिक हिंदू मुस्लिम भारत के नागरिक हैं, तो अलग संदेश नहीं होते सबके लिए। हम सबको मिलकर रहना है, देश को बड़ा बनाना है, ये सदा सर्वदा के लिए हमारा संदेश है। और संघ किसी आंदोलन को नहीं करता, संघ मनुष्य निर्माण का काम करता है। कुछ ऐतिहासिक पृष्ठभूमि रही है, जैसा मैंने कहा कि मेरे अखिल भारतीय अधिकारी बनने के पहले, उसके कारण इस आंदोलन में एक संगठन के नाते संघ जुड़ गया। वो एक अपवाद है। अब आगे हम अपने मनुष्य निर्माण के काम में लग जाएंगे तो ये आंदोलन के विषय हमारे विषय नहीं रहते, इसलिए हम इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कह सकते।
मोहन जी, मैं अमित हूँ, न्यूज 24 से।
बस आखिरी।
हाँ, अमित हूँ, न्यूज 24 से। एक सवाल है कि
हाँ जी।
एक तो जफर जिलानी ने कहा है कि वो रिव्यू पिटीशन डालेंगे जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला है। दूसरी बात की जो बात अभी पूछी गई थी कि अयोध्या के बाद क्या काशी और मथुरा वो आपके एजेंडे में है, उसको आप आगे बढ़ाएं?
पहले का उत्तर मैंने दे दिया है, संघ आंदोलन करने वाला संगठन नहीं है, मनुष्य निर्माण करेगा। और दूसरी बात है कि उन्होंने जो किया है उसके बारे में उनके पीछे बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपको और बहुत जगह जाना पड़ेगा आज, और ये साफ है बिल्कुल, जैसा वो निर्णय साफ है वैसे स्टेटमेंट भी साफ है।
This is Chief Mohan Bhagwat there, obviously welcoming the verdict from the Supreme Court today, and also talking about, the need to maintain harmony. We will get back to that in just a moment. But also, one of the judges on this 5-judge constitution bench has told NDTV's Vaidyanathan that it is a time for healing. Where they're joining us on the phone line now. Vaidya, what did the one of the justices tell you?
So one of the judges in the 5-judge bench which delivered the Ayodhya verdict told NDTV, he said he is speaking for the bench. Number one, he said this unanimous judgment, it itself gives you what impression that how the judgment should be treated. Secondly, he said it's a time for healing. Actually, his quote, healing in the sense he says both communities. He didn't say that time for healing, which interprets that both communities to accept the verdict and should live together. And third important point, he said that huge responsibility was entrusted on the 5-judge bench, and they are feeling very relieved now because I can say from my experience speaking to few judges, there is honor and pressure writing the judgment at a short span of time, and the 2,045 pages and also covering across all the arguments made by both sides. It's a humongous task. Anyway, the judge exclusively speaking to NDTV saying that one, it's a time for healing, and second, it's a huge responsibility. We feel relieved after discharging our duty entrusted upon us by the Constitution.
All right, Vaidya, thanks very much for that. I'd like to go across to senior lawyer and member of the BJP, Mahesh Jethmalani, joining us at this hour. We also have senior Supreme Court advocate Sanjay Hegde joining us. Mr. Jethmalani, your thoughts, on this verdict today, as one of the judges has told my colleague Vaidya that it's a time for healing, and, I think they're relieved that they got this done.
Well, Nidhi, I mean, it seems to be an extremely balanced judgment. I mean, it's tried to be fair to all parties concerned. It's analyzed the facts. It's stayed away from any, controversial issues, history, religion, mythology. It's basically decided it on a question of fact on issues pertaining to title and possession. That seems to be the nub of the case, and after a comprehensive analysis of facts germane to those aspects, it has come to the conclusion that the Hindus were in exclusive possession of the outer courtyard, and there was joint possession, and both parties did, pray in the sanctum sanctorum. But to resolve the issue, they gave and particularly since the mosque had been demolished, they've said that the Hindus should be allowed to build a temple in the sanctum sanctorum area under the aegis of a trust which will be controlled by the government, and the Muslims should be given an alternative site, 5 acres. The original mosque covered, I think, an area of 2.77 acres, and they should be given 5 acres out of the land acquired by the government in 1993. So I think this is, a good resolution, a fair resolution. I mean, nobody becomes a complete winner or a complete loser in any litigation. So there may be, a few misgivings by some people, but I think we should all accept it in the spirit which the Supreme Court has passed the judgment, and move on from here, not open wounds again by reviews, etc., etc. Because ultimately we are going to have a temple and a mosque, in close proximity to each other, which itself is symbolic of harmony between the communities.
Do you think, therefore, it's important, and I've been raising this point for some time now, that this was a unanimous verdict of the Supreme Court, that, the messaging from the court is very important here, given that it is unanimous?
Yes. Undoubtedly, the fact that it is unanimous, gives it much more authority and much more sanctity than if it had been a split verdict as the Allahabad High Court decision was.
Sanjay Hegde with us as well. Mr. Hegde, your thoughts on this. What would you say, though, on that part of the Supreme Court's order, which also says that the 1992 December 6th Babri Masjid demolition was a violation of law? That is also a very important thing that has happened today. And how do you think that will impact the criminal trial that is separately going on that matter?
Well, how it will impact the criminal trial is again a matter that the criminal court will take into account, because their evidence is about who was on the site, who did what, who incited, who did not incite, who was part of the conspiracy. Criminal law stands on a different footing, but the court today seems to have held not only that 1992, 6 December 1992 was a negation of the rule of law, it has also held that the placing of the idols in 1949 was wrong. It has gone into an extensive analysis over 1,045 pages. I was trying to skim through the judgment. It is a very structured judgment, and I've said on Mastodon that it's a piece of scholarship, statesmanship, and craftsmanship. It is a judgment rooted in law, as you could expect from a Supreme Court. So after having taken into account everything, the facts, the evidence, pleadings, the craftsmanship and statesmanship come in the ultimate molding of the relief. While molding the relief, it has taken into account ground realities as they exist today. It has sought to put in a solution which would take this matter out of bickering in court, and hopefully that this matter doesn't come back into the court. It has shown a path for the future. I saw some of your asking the RSS the same question. Could we not have done it 30 years ago? Well, often people not want to come to a solution unless rigorously litigated in court. I've seen this in other matters also, and mine will bear out with me. We've seen parties bitterly contesting family fight, divorce, and all that. They pay us lawyers to fight on their behalf.
I think perhaps it was best left to the court to decide it, to bring that closure. Yeah, perhaps it needed the court to decide it, and it wasn't something that obviously parties could individually do. Mr. Jethmalani, do you think though that this will then finally give us closure on this matter, and politically also, that we can set this issue aside? Some commentators saying a lot will depend on how various political groups handle it from here on. How they look at, say, other disputes. The RSS chief was being constantly asked about Kashi and Mathura as well. But do you think, though, that by and large we should be able to move on from this?
I think, Nidhi, first of all, the country is, waited a long time for this judgment, and, to some extent, some people have also got weary about it. I mean, it's a question of faith, therefore, and ultimately it's been resolved. The majority community, which really believed that this was the Janmsthan of Lord Ram, has been gratified fully by this judgment. There should be no more. I don't think anybody should indulge in any triumphalism, or nobody should stoke grievances anymore, including, I think, by going for a review in this matter, because the scope of a review really is very, very limited in this case. So I really think this should be given a quietus by everybody, and we should move on to much, much more important things now in the country, eradicating poverty, getting growth and employment and that kind of thing. I think this has been a long festering problem, and the Supreme Court has really sagaciously dealt with this issue and tried to do justice to all parties, and I think it has in fact succeeded in doing that.
All right, but I see that that's something both of you do agree on. Thank you to you and to Sanjay Hegde for joining us at this hour. Just get quick last comments from Nilofer Sohrawardy and Mr. Pula Rao here. Ms. Sohrawardy, do you agree with what both the senior lawyers there were saying? That, that ultimately the court did the best that it could, and we can move on from this.
Yes, and we must move on. Where the court's verdict is concerned, I would not look at it from legal parameters. I would consider it as more of a social verdict, a verdict that is in the interest of the community, both the communities, the country as a whole, to which neither Hindus nor Muslims should have any, about which neither Hindus or Muslims should have any reservations about. After all, the Muslims, they have also been granted an alternative land site, or they will be granted an alternative land site. Where the Hindus are concerned, politically, I think the Supreme Court's decision has played a great role in ending the issue politically, though in my opinion the issue has been politically dead for quite some time, because though the political parties have tried making the use as part of their electoral campaigns, they have not succeeded. And regarding the reservations expressed by a few a Muslim organization, I think rather than invest their time, money, energy in going for the review of the judgment, they should spend it somewhere else for the welfare of the community, for the welfare of the country as a whole, because that would be more sensible. Because raising the issue, going for the review is trying to, जैसे वो होता है
fester it.
Trying to prolong the issue or trying to gain media coverage. Every time they'll go to the court. Oh,
Mr. Pullarao, do you agree with that?
Yes, kind of. She has elaborated every aspect of it. The only one thing, we can't determine how the future narrative will go on other temples and all that, but people are kind of surfeited with, this kind of temple issue for the last 25 years. Such issues may not take such a big place in our future politics. Therefore, this has come, and I also feel that the delayed judgment itself has had a good thing. You didn't give a quick judgment, 1994, 95, 96, had they given a judgment, that would have been fast, too fast. So, this weighed down everybody, 2 generations have gone by, and the Supreme Court also, as you go through parts of the judgment, they have touched on all aspects which you have also raised. And therefore, I believe that this has come at the right time, a right judgment, and maybe this will set the trend in the future. And one more thing is, you can always argue things in court, but you can't go and fight on the masjid or thing on the land and have riots. That also Supreme Court has identified and clearly said you can't do these things, because they did this in 1861, other incidents also they violated. So, it is a very good trend for the future.
All right. Well, thank you to both of you for joining us. I just have to go across to Ayodhya to my colleague Alok Pandey now, and that is where all eyes are today. And there, Alok, how have people reacted? We know that there's been so much of a heightened security presence, in the town today. But thankfully, everyone's sort of been calm. There have been no sort of huge celebrations. No finger pointing, etc. Good to see that the reactions have been measured.
No, they've been very measured. In fact, most of the people who are here, the Ram Ki Pedi, have come in for a dip here. That's what a lot of them are doing. But I have these young people here with me. What's your name, sir?
Sir, my name is Ashutosh Mishra.
Ashutosh ji, you told me that you teach music. क्या पढ़ाते हैं आप?
मैं संगीत का टीचर हूँ द कैमरन स्कूल में.
अच्छा, किस तरह का संगीत पढ़ाते हैं?
सर मैं वेस्टर्न, क्लासिकल और
सब कुछ पढ़ाते हैं.
हाँ सर.
ये जान के अच्छा लग रहा है कि अयोध्या में भी वेस्टर्न क्लासिकल की सीख दी जा रही है.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, मतलब हमारे यहाँ तो पूरी एक घराना ही है.
अच्छा.
अयोध्या तो ऐसा घराना जाना जाता है. और अभी नए तरह का म्यूजिक आपस में मिला के बहुत अच्छा सब मिलजुल के बहुत खुशी का माहौल में. ठीक है.
ये बताइए, हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज दिस कि हम सब लोग अब पीस मेंटेन करें और जो भी वर्डिक्ट आया है उसको अच्छे से एक्सेप्ट करेंगे, आप लोगों के लिए कितना जरूरी है?
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि आज का जो हमारा सिचुएशन है बहुत अच्छा है. लाइक मैं देख पा रहा हूँ कि जैसा कि मंदिर का डिसीजन आया है, लोगों में खुशी है. और आप देख सकते हैं लॉ और पीस की अगर आप बात करते हैं तो मैं नया घाट पे खड़ा हूँ. मैं इजीली अपने घर से उठ के हम यहाँ दर्शन करने आए, क्योंकि आस्था से जुड़ा मसला है.
ठीक है. तो ये बताइए कि पुलिस ने किस तरह से इंतजाम किए थे, आपने क्या देखा जब आप आए वहाँ से यहाँ तक, तो रास्ते में आपने क्या देखा, किस तरह का इंतजाम पुलिस ने किया हुआ?
नहीं, पुलिस ने अपनी जो उनके चाक चौबंद है वो तो बहुत अच्छे हैं. मतलब जैसे सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए, बिना आईडी के वो हमें एंटर नहीं करने दे रहे हैं, वो सारी चीजें हैं. एंड दैट इज जस्ट ऑसम. लाइक आई कैन से बहुत अच्छा एक पीस भी मेंटेन किया गया. बट ऐसा कुछ माहौल भी नहीं है, बहुत पीसफुली माहौल है और हम बहुत खुश हैं. आप देख सकते हैं क्योंकि सब.
बिल्कुल. आपका नाम क्या है?
जी मेरा नाम शिवम है.
शिवम, आप म्यूजिक के बारे में क्या जानते हैं? तो म्यूजिक के टीचर हैं.
हमको नहीं जानते सर.
आप नहीं जानते म्यूजिक के बारे में? कोई बात नहीं. आप क्या करते हैं?
हम तो काम करते हैं.
काम करते हैं. आपको यहाँ आने में कोई दिक्कत हुई, बैरिकेडिंग है या आराम से आ गए यहाँ तक? पुलिस ने कुछ कहा, किस तरह का सिक्योरिटी अरेंजमेंट है अयोध्या में? आराम से आ पाए कि किसी ने चेकिंग वेकिंग की रास्ते में?
सब
अच्छा, शर्मा रहे हो यार तुम बताओ यार, वो तो इतना शर्मा रहा है. आराम से आ पाए कि नहीं?
चेक इन बहुत लगा है रास्ते में.
लगा है. बैरिकेडिंग भी है. और पुलिस भी है?
पुलिस है, बहुत है, हर जगह है, फोर्स हर जगह।
आप लोग से कुछ पूछा जब आप लोग आ रहे थे या जाने दिया आपको?
पूछा गया आईडी, मतलब कई जगह रास्ता बंद है तो कहीं वापस लौटा दिया गया, तो हम लोग
घूम घाम के पहुंच ही गए।
गांव अंदर आए हैं। सड़क पे सब रास्ता बंद है।
हाँ।
जो बड़े बड़े रोड है बस वही चालू है, हाईवे होते हुए आए हैं।
चलिए सही है। क्या नाम है आपका?
आशीष सोनी।
ईयरफोन के अलावा कुछ म्यूजिक के बारे में जानते हैं?
नो
नहीं जानते। ओनली वन म्यूजिक लवर एंड म्यूजिक टीचर हियर। बट वन गुड थिंग अबाउट अयोध्या इज कि आप रास्ते बंद कर दीजिए, लेकिन ये लड़के कहीं ना कहीं से घूम घाम के गलियों से आ ही गए।
Much for that, Alok Pandey there, keeping an eye on things in Ayodhya. Glad to see that everything is peaceful so far and may it remain that way. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more reactions to this big story on the other side.